Hey everybody, it's Chris Seeds, Wootini from GayGamer.net, here with another weekly video podcast. This week I want to start by talking a little bit about Fatal Frame, which I talked about last week, and if you looked on GayGamer.net, you saw my review that went up, and suffice it to say, I liked it. It has some janky controls, and the way the story is told isn't, super immersive, but it is ultimately very creepy, and it is just right for the Halloween season. I did manage to get it up on the site. I wanted to try to get through the game so that I could get a review up, at least by the game's release date. The embargo was actually up Monday. I could have posted a review Monday if I was finished, but the game actually released on Thursday or Friday of that week. But it's hard because, and this is one of the reasons why I'm glad I don't get a lot of review codes for games, or review copies. They do a lot of codes now. But I'm kind of glad that I don't get a lot because, you'll get them like a week or two in advance of release date, and you've just got to plow through it because, you got to play it, and you sort of, certain games you'll need to play, like I said last week, that was my topic last week, playing through to the end of the story so that you can say, okay, I have experienced the basic game. I haven't gone back in to get the extra things and stuff, but the basic game, here is my opinion on that. And that's hard to do in a week or two. And then some people send you review copies, like, on release date. Or I've actually gotten a review copy, like, a week after release. And then I'm like, okay, well, that won't be timely at all. And I'm, like I said last week, I'm glad I don't get review copies of, like, JRPGs or anything, because those take me months to play. So, that's where I end up just talking about it here on a weekly basis as I progress through the game, because, it's hard to get things out. And it's also difficult, because when you rush through a game like that, it can change your opinion of the game, because you have to play it, and it's going to influence, I feel like it sometimes, depending on the game, obviously, it can influence you negatively. I mean, there's certain games where you can sit down and play it for hours and not even realize that time is passing. Dragon Age Inquisition. Like, I forgot to eat. Seriously. I was like, oh, hey, it's like 7:30, I should probably go get something for dinner, because I had been playing for hours and didn't even think about it. But then there's other games where, like, when you have to play it, and you're playing, and you're like, ugh, and sometimes you get, a game where you're like, ugh, I don't want to play this, but I have to play it because I have to review it, and it's like, ugh, and it's like a slog, and then, I mean, obviously that's getting off on the wrong foot, so you're not going to be giving that one a good review to start with, but there might be a game that you like, but then the fact that you had to rush through it, it didn't, like, you should play a game when you want to play it, and then it'll unfold in that speed. It's like when you go to see a movie. If you've paid, like, $16 to pay for a full-price movie ticket, is that movie that you just saw worth $16? Whereas if you saw it for a $7 or $8 matinee, you might be more generous and say, well, it was okay, it was worth it for a matinee price. And then if you see something for free, if you get a free screening or something, like, I feel like there's been movies that I've seen at free screenings where I've been like, hey, that was pretty good. And people are like, are you serious? And I'm like, well, maybe it's just because I didn't have to pay for it, I enjoyed it. If I did have to pay $10 for it, yeah, maybe I wouldn't have. But I never understood the mentality of the people who were, like, posting online and being like, 2 days after a game's release, well, I'm already done, where's the DLC? And I'm just like, what? Because if I'm going to spend $60 on a game, I want to enjoy that for more than a week. Like, I need to get more than a week's worth of gameplay out of that, Like, Dragon Age Inquisition, or Batman Arkham Knight, whatever, like, I want to get a lot of gameplay out of that. I'm going to take my time, I'm going to enjoy the game, I'm going to explore it, I'm going to try to, really get into it. And I'm going to take my time, because I want to get my money's worth. Because when you're paying $60, finishing it in 3 days is just silly. Then I feel like you're wasting your money. Then you might as well just go to GameFly and rent it, because you're going to be able to run through the games that quickly. Maybe they do. That could be. I never did GameFly because I take forever to play a game, and it wouldn't make any sense. But the other thing that I played, finally, was Minecraft Story Mode, which came out the other week, and unfortunately, my review was like a week late, but at least I finally got it up. But it's very enjoyable, although I've never played Minecraft. I know the concept of it, I know the basics, but I am not familiar with the Minecraft universe, so I'm pretty sure there were quite a few references and maybe some jokes that like I just didn't get, because I don't know what they're talking about. But it says something about Telltale that they're able to make these games, and even if you don't know Minecraft, you can still appreciate the story that they're telling, and it's very entertaining, it's very funny, and, you know, it's still a fun game to play, even if, you know, you're not the biggest Minecraft fan like myself, or at all a Minecraft fan like myself. But it's also good because now I am done with review games, and I can actually play the games I want to play, like Rock Band! So I've been playing a bunch more Rock Band now, because, you know, there's so much DLC that I've been able to download, because, you know, you can re-download anything that you've purchased for the previous Rock Bands, you can just re-download for free. Although, I have discovered, unfortunately, you can't download certain songs, like any of the Rock Band Network songs, those aren't coming. So, I can't play Pac-Man Fever, or, like, St. Elmo's Fire. There's, like, a few that I bought from there that I can't get. I think, like, the Flight of the Conchords songs, I can't re-download those. But there's a few Doors songs that I had that I still can't download. They keep trying to charge me $2 for them, and I'm like, nope, fix this. But as opposed to Dance Central Spotlight, here they were like, here's everything. So, you know, there are some glitches here and there, but most of it worked, so I've been able to download like hundreds of DLC songs. It's sad to see how many I've actually purchased, and I don't like to think about the money I've spent. So let's not think about that. And let's just say, yay, we have lots of songs to play in Rock Band now. And it's funny because they haven't even unlocked all the songs from Rock Band 2, and Rock Band 3 that you're going to be able to download. They're working on Rock Band 3 right now, I know. And it's going to cost $15 to import those songs, which is rude, but I'll probably still pay it, because there's a lot of good songs in there, I think. Pretty sure. So, yeah. I'm enjoying it. There's lots of songs to play, so I'm still working my way through my library, and it's great fun, and I still like it. I'm still waiting for that update that's supposed to fix the things that I'm hoping they'll fix. But I'm rather enjoying it. Although, I have to say one last thing. I love the new guitar. It's nice and quiet. My old Rock Band 1 guitar was so old, like the buttons were clicky and it was very noisy just to play the guitar. But this one's nice and quiet and very smooth, and it feels really good. These drums I'm not crazy about. Like, I had the original Rock Band 1 drums, which were kind of noisy, and I know that they eventually changed the design of the drums, and they, like, made the pads, like, a little more, like, foamy, so that they were softer, and they weren't as loud, and you weren't going clack, 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 clack. The problem is that the Rock Band 4 drum set that I have now, there's softer foam, but in the center of the pad is like a little plastic circle. And that's in the center, which is kind of where you're gonna hit more often than not. So that makes a tapping sound. So I'm like, these drums aren't as quiet as I was hoping they would be. So I have to turn the TV volume way up so that, you know, I hear the music and not tap, 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 tap. But, and I do still miss the keyboards. I really miss the keyboards. I wish they'd kept the keyboards. But what are you going to do? I still have my keyboards, and I still have all my old Rock Band discs on my 360. I can just go and fire up the 360 and play some keyboard songs if I'm in the mood to play keyboards. Everything else, though, Rock Band 4 all the way. Alright, that's enough. I feel like I've gone on way too long. This is getting a bit long, and I don't like these to be too long, because I like to be just in and out. You don't want to sit here for half an hour listening to me blather on. So I will cut myself off now, and I will continue talking at you next week. See you then. Bye.